Hi everybody, welcome to the Paper Wishes vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I'm really excited to bring you this collection from our friends at Hunky Dory Crafts. This is the Moonstone Wise and Beautiful collection, and it's got an owl theme, and I just love owls. This one is Thinking of You die, the Follow Your Heart cutting die. This one is Floating Feathers cutting die, and the stamp set, this one's called Memories Forever. So let me get right to this and show you how these work. So this first one, let's see, which one shall I take first? This one is the Thinking of You. Okay, and this is very bright on white here. So there we go. This is how the die looks. It is 3 pieces. Let me show you how this looks. Here are the 3 pieces. So here is the main die, and then if you wish to cut it out like this, you use this exterior die too. So it would go like this, and you center this large center die in between this outside die. And then of course you've got this great little sentiment that says Thinking of You. So for the card that I made to go with this, I just actually cut it without using this outer die. So I cut it directly from the card. And I like to use these great little 6x6 cards from Hunky Dory. They come already cut to 6x6, and they come with an envelope, so that's great. And I think there's, gosh, like, I don't know, 8 in a pack, maybe 10. So what I did with this is I went ahead and I put this over the card. I opened the card up like this, placed the die here, taped it down with a little bit of this great little Hunky Dory low-tack tape to keep it in place. And then just ran it through my die cutting machine. Now, because these dies are like 5 inches, they'll go through your 6-inch wide format, Big Shot die cutting machine, anything that's 6 inches wide, or it'll take that really with no problem. So I went ahead and cut that from the front there, and then I wanted to line my card, so I just used a little bit of dotted vellum. There we go. You can buy this by the sheet at paperwishes.com. And what I did with that was I just cut it to the size and left a little bit on that left edge, folded that under, so you can see I just glued this right there. So that's about 1/4 of an inch folded under, glued that right there, and then that just fit really nicely into the card. And then I die cut the greeting from silver linen paper. It's actually a 12x12 sheet. I just grabbed this little scrap of it. And then I used some beautiful fancy border dazzles, which are lost somewhere here on my table. I think as I go through my piles of supplies, I'll find them. So maybe I'll show you those at the end. And then also just a little ribbon, little gold, silver bow rather, and that is from the Gold and Silver Ribbons collection. There we go, from Paper Wishes. So as you can see, they're very easy to put together. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit more complex, let's take a look at this beautiful Follow Your Heart die. And this one, let me grab it here. There we go. This one has got this beautiful wreath shape to it. I can't get it. There we go. And so for this one, I used it. Here we go. Once again on the 6x6 card. I thought that was a great format to use. And for my background, I just used pink pastel cardstock from the Pastel Paper Pack. And I also used from Dotted Duos number 3, this great golden yellow color. Okay, and then I colored all the little flowers and things right here using some Tri-Blend markers. These are my favorite markers to use. The colors I used on this are the golden brown right here. I used that on the owl and also some of the flowers. And then this one is the coral, which I did on these larger flowers right here with light yellow in the centers. The citrus green right here I used on all of the leaves. And then some of the other flowers I used the pale pink blend, right? So let me just show you on one of these flowers. I'll do a coral flower first. Okay, here we go. If you're not familiar with these pens, they have a dark, a medium, and a light pen all in one. So here is the dark one. And I'm just going to take this yellow and let's do this one. Just coloring the center in like that. Now I'm going to go to the coral, and I'm going to go to the dark one on the coral. Go. And I'm just going to be coloring the darker, like the base of the petals. Okay. And I am by no means an expert at coloring, but I managed to just get by with just a few basic tips here. And that's why I like to start with this is the medium color. I like to start with the darkest shade. And if I'm coloring a flower, I like to go around the center, near the center, because I think if I was looking at the flower, it would be darker at the center and lighter around the outside edges. And once I've got that done, now I'm just going to switch to the lightest pen color. And then I just color over the entire flower. There we go. Ooh, I think my pen's running out of color. I was using it last night like crazy, and I think it's finally given up. We're able to switch to that medium. And what we're doing with that medium is we're just going right into that darker color. Going to those outside petals. Okay. And you just take the green, which is not that color. Here we go, green. Same thing, I like to do a little bit of dark at the base. And then I like to switch right to the lighter color. Blend that in with the darker color. Kind of drag it up. There we go. So, there's our little flower. And I did that all the way around. And then you'll notice here, my little owl has a little bit of dimension to it. And what I did with that is, I should show you this die set. Here we go. Once again, this die set is in 3 pieces. Okay, so for this one, I used both of the pieces here to cut out this square. And then I've got the little greeting here that I cut out of pastel green that's on the center. So back to the owl. With the owl, you just want to take, I just took a little portion of one here. I didn't even bother cutting out the whole thing. And then you just want to follow along the little, the die cut, like embossed die cut image of the owl. And you're just sort of cutting away each of those little lines. Some of them just kind of release right when you put a little bit of the scissor on them. They just kind of release all by themselves. So as you can see, that it's just falling away. Then I colored that and put a little bit of foam tape and put that right on top of that one. All right, so let's see what else we've got. All right, so yeah, here are the cutting dies. Here we go, for the floating feathers. And you get 5 dies here. Some of them are kind of outline and some of them are solid right here. And here's the card I made for this one. So for this, I used all kinds of different papers and textures on this. So for the background paper, I used the Country Chic paper pack. So it's got this wonderful sort of linen color with a sort of lace background on that. So that's what I used for that. And then for the circle here, I used this olive suede paper, just suede feeling to the touch. And also, I used 2 sizes here of circle dies. These are 12 circles and scallop cutting dies from hot off the press. And I used the 2 largest circles, and I just nested one inside the other, ran it through my die cutting machine. Also fits in that 6x6 format. And I glued the circle to the card, and then I die cut 1 leaf from white, okay? And then I just inked the edges a little bit with some Arctic mist, okay? And then little ink, and then on these 2 leaves, I used these wonderful, I use this one a lot, it's just my favorite color. This is from Hunky Dory, Diamond Sparkles Shimmer Card Sky Blue. This glitter cardstock that it's just baked right on there. It doesn't come off, doesn't go everywhere. It's just the best stuff. So I die cut those little skeleton leaves there, glued them kind of just in a cluster, put a little bit of ribbon with the teal and aqua ribbon set from Paper Wishes. And then right here, I just put a little bit of a greeting, Make a Wish. And these are tiny words and phrases dazzles. They come in a collection like this. This is just sort of the everyday greetings, and I use the silver one right there. Okay, so yeah, that one was a really fun card to put together that I made last night, and it was really easy to do. So for this last one, I wanted to show you the stamp set. And this stamp set, what I did here is I just stamped it on some of the great Hunky Dory stamping cardstock. And then I used some of my pens. I used primarily the purple, the dull green, the pink, and the coral to color my flowers. I also used the 6x6 card that I covered with black cardstock. That's upside down. And then I used these new little 6x6 gingham papers from hot off the press. I just cut this down to about 5.5-inch square, and I glued it right to the center. And then, as you can see here, I stamped this beautiful corner stamp. I'm going to actually stamp that twice. I'm going to show you all the little beautiful pieces that I colored. All right, so I stamped it twice. So here's this one right here. I'm going to use some Cosmic Shimmer glue to put this all together. Okay, I don't need very much glue, but I like to get all the little tiny pieces that are extending off of here. I'm going to glue this so that it's actually going off the edge of the gingham. Okay, and I also have the little greeting here that I stamped, and I should mention I used Tuxedo Black Memento ink when I'm working with the Tri-Blend markers, because the markers are alcohol and the ink is water-based, and so therefore they will not bleed together. So for that, I also used those circle, here we go, where are they? The circle dies. And I used the scallop one, cut that out. So I'm going to put that right about there. Could use a little foam tape, but I'm not going to take time to grab that. I'm just going to glue that right there. All right, so the rest of these I cut out. I stamped the single large flower and the small, did that multiple times. Got my little owl here, and I like to color that owl with that great golden brown. Use that several times. So I'm going to go ahead, just start gluing these little guys. Go. As I said before, you can use a little foam tape, like I've got on the back of these little coral flowers. Go. Some more of the purple. And as you can see, I'm just sort of building up from these two corner pieces. I'm just sort of creating and filling in all the way around. Just like that. And I'm going to put this one right there. Then I've got all these lovely flowers, which I also colored with that wonderful golden brown marker. And then I'm just going to tuck these feathers in. Kind of lift some of these up right here. There we go. We are. I think I'm going to stop right there. And then we've got our owl, which can kind of just go right in here. I'm going to move one of my little foam tape flowers over, so I have room for my owl. I kind of got carried away there. There we go. So as you can see, it's got elements of the flower, the owl, all of these corner embellishment sort of die pieces, stamped pieces right here. Once I stamp them, I just use my little scissors, and after coloring them, I just went ahead and just started cutting right around those black lines. Sometimes I like to leave a white edge, but I didn't on these. I just went ahead and did that. And then here's a little tip for you. Once you cut these out, you might find that you have a little bit of a white edge sticking out here or there. What I would do is just take my pen, if I had a little white edge around one of these purple flowers, just go around that edge a little bit before gluing it down, and that just disappears. Okay, so as you can see, you guys, we've got a great collection here of these cutting dies and stamps. If you're a big owl fan like I am, these are wonderful to use any time of the year. So check us out if you are watching us on our vlog page at paperwishes.com. The Money Saver is on the right-hand side, and if you're watching us on YouTube, look below the video in the description box and you'll find a link to the Money Saver and also a link to paperwishes.com where you can find lots more videos and fun things to play with. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.